in 5 women of childbearing age are now opting not to have kids. Those new numbers from a new Pew Research study, and the numbers have some people really popping their eyes at this one. It's a figure that's doubled in the last 30 years. So for some insight this morning into why women are making this choice, we're joined by Dr. Jen Berman, who's a marriage, family, and child therapist and the host of SiriusXM's Cosmo Radio, and a good friend of the early show. Nice to have you back this morning.
Thanks so much.
Is there one simple reason you can point to that this number has actually doubled, that more women are saying, you know what, I don't think I want to be a mother?
Well, there are a number of reasons, and according to the Pew study, 60% of adults surveyed said that they don't think that having a child is necessary to have a happy marriage. We also have so many more birth control options, so that having a child has become a choice as opposed to something that just sort of happens to us. And also families are waiting and making more responsible decisions economically and emotionally.
You bring up two good points there, not only the waiting, but the more choices for women. So there isn't as much pressure to have a child. How much of this may have to do with that challenge of having it all?
Well, I think that we can have it all, and I think that there's so many great role models. You're certainly one of them. We see politicians, we see CEOs, and I think that there are more and more great role models for women, but I also think that we're still trying to figure out how to do it and how to make it happen and what it looks like and if we want it, because having a child used to be something that wasn't a choice. It was kind of a cultural mandate, but now we have choices.
18% of women ages 40 to 44 have never given birth. Now that number is up as well. And you mentioned it used to be that we didn't have the choice. It was sort of this cultural pressure. Are women happier, you think?
I do think that women are happier because we have more choices. I think that in the past, we just did it because that was what's expected of us. We didn't have that many choices, so it just kind of happened. But now women are really thinking very carefully about whether they want to have children.
There were some interesting figures in here too when it comes to marriage, that 41% believe now that children are important for a successful marriage. That's down from 65%. Marriage really isn't just about children.
It's not, and more couples are realizing that, and more couples are realizing that they don't have to have children to have a great life, and that there's so many other things that they can enjoy, and that relationships can be complete without children if that's what you want.
And you mentioned that in some ways this is a more responsible choice, because obviously if you don't think you'd be a good parent, then maybe it's not a good idea to have a child. I mean, is there anything wrong with a woman saying, I choose not to have a child?
There is not. I commend any woman who has the insight to know that motherhood is not for her. I think it's a great choice, and I'm glad that more and more women are taking a look at the options and saying, hey, this isn't for me.
And the thing that's interesting is, because I do have a few friends who have said, look, I don't think kids are for me. But it's amazing the pressure, even though there's less societal pressure, they still do get a lot of pressure when people say, oh, you'll change your mind. I mean, is there ever a point where a woman finally knows, okay, I'm not going to have any regrets, this is my choice?
Well, I think that there are no guarantees when it comes to regrets, and you want to kind of attempt to look into the future and think about what it is that you want. And having a child because you don't want to grow old alone is not a good reason. Mm-hmm. You want to have a child because you have that love to give, and you're willing to put that energy out and want to be a parent.
Dr. Jen Berman, always great to have you with us. Thank you
Thanks so much.